Hello, team. Good morning. It's a historic time. We broke the all-time high. And I know Bitcoin has fallen, but that's what it does, everybody. Mando told us yesterday, my theory, that the market makers manipulate, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now. Up and down, shake out the leverage longs, shake out the leverage shorts, grab that Bitcoin, fill the ETFs. And we're going to break it all down today. In addition, I'm going to show you my new halving price target. It's bonkers. And my new my conservative bull market prediction. But remember, as I said yesterday as well, all the models are broken. We've never seen such hardness hitting so much demand at the same time. So it's an exciting time, everybody. But don't freak out. We're now at 67,000. Literally, it fell over $2,300 in minutes. But it also went up $2,000 in minutes. And that's just what happens. So let's break it all down. Thank you as well to everybody here, Jeff Hammer, and make sure lovely bottom feeder. We have G60 Johnny. We have Doc Intern. The whole gang is here. So thank you all for coming. And again, quick and dirty. Let's go. Make sure I have my right stuff. Okay. So all-time high. And don't forget, thank you to everyone on Patreon for making this possible. And there's a Bitcoin-only playlist. People love that, actually. There's a lot of people that only want to hear about Bitcoin, nothing else. This playlist is for you. And this is proof of all the all-time high crossings. I had multiple alerts set across multiple exchanges to make sure we bang it. And of course, it's very important to know in this world. And before the people say, well, it's not really an all-time high because of dollar debasement, I know that better than anybody. But it is a psychological all-time high. You don't hear people talking about dollar debasement for gold, do you? Because then it'd be making all-time lows all the time. So it's just a crazy time to be alive. And the other important thing about breaking an all-time high is now the glass is broken. What happens next is what's called price discovery. We don't know where things are going. This is what's called all the models are broken. Got to get that t-shirt. All right, so let's get down to some nitty-gritty. This is a Coinbase high that hit on my Coinbase account, $69,324.58. The previous all-time high was $68,990. So it was like, call it $350 difference. And in addition, remember as well, different exchanges at different prices. Some exchanges like to gouge a little bit more than others. Here's a $50 delta between two. I can't remember what they are. One is Binance and one is Bitstamp or Coinbase, or I don't know. But anyway, just to show you in real time how they differ as well. Now, let's talk about this too. What was really impressive, not only did we all break the news of the all-time high, but look, the Normie TradFi newspapers did too. This is Wall Street Journal, literally a few minutes ago. They were about 20 minutes late. Bitcoin stunning climb to new records explained in charts. Robust flows into new spot Bitcoin ETF funds are one of the primary catalysts of the rally. Well done. Well done, TradFi Media. You got it right. But there's more. We only have 43 days to the halving, and that's not a lot of time, ladies and gentlemen. And I did do an all-time high poll yesterday. This was just to gauge the sentiment of Twitter, at least the people that follow me on Twitter, to see exactly what was going on. And I said, Bitcoin all-time high is imminent, and I felt it was going to happen in the next 24 hours, hence the way it is written. 58.6% of you from 3,600 votes got it right. We did hit that all-time high. This was posted yesterday afternoon, and we did it within 19 hours. So well done, everybody. All-time high before the end of the week. Boom. Everybody knows we were going to hit an all-time high. The question is how fast. And that is what's stunning. Stunning about this this market. And remember, the market makers are out to steal your bags. Do not play with leverage longs or leverage shorts unless you really know what you're doing, because it'll be stolen from you, okay? Everybody, it takes a lifetime to make it and a second to lose it. Okay, now, I have a new price prediction. People keep on asking me now, well, your last price prediction was so good with the 62K in 11 days, which was actually 64K in 13 days. But now I have a new one. And again, it's also sandbagged, believe it or not. So we have the halving 43 days away. Now, what I did was I analyzed the 2020 halving and what the price was 44 days before the 2020 halving. So back then, the price of Bitcoin was 6,719. And the halving date was May 11th, 2020. And the halving price, the Bitcoin price on the halving date was $8,754. So basically, what's crazy is the distance from all-time high. At that point in time before the halving, it was nearly 66% away from the all-time high. Massive. We are, in this cycle, we are above, we were briefly above the all-time high way before the halving, okay? That is very, very historic. But there's more. It's what happens after the halving. And this is why I believe if history repeats, how high Bitcoin could go in the next 43 days. Ready? Again, if history repeats and then we do what we did in previous cycles. In fact, if I add the math from the previous cycles, the numbers get really bonkers, so I'm not going to do that. But basically, breaking this down, the growth, the delta between the actual Bitcoin price and the halving date and where we are today means the price of Bitcoin could go up 30.31% over the next 43 days, which would take us to $89,900, nearly $90,000 if history repeats. And that's pretty exciting. And I believe it's also pretty achievable considering the money flow and the hardness. And there's a whole bunch of news as well. I'm just going to touch on some of the high level pieces that shows that there's more money coming in than ever before. We've got 22 ETFs coming out of Hong Kong, which represent China, which is more middle class people than the United States population in its entirety. And they have good money to burn, and they will not be touching real estate. But there's other funds all over the world, all happening, and it's getting the attention. Let me explain what's going on and how it's getting the attention so fast. First of all, Bitcoin leaps over Meta. And next in the box is a thing called AG, which is silver. I think we call it Argentum in the old world. But that is massive. One of my predictions was we would eclipse silver this bull run in 2024. It looks like we're going to be here already. And on the periodic table of the elements, I think AG is number 47. And the market cap is 1.349. Bitcoin is at 1. Actually, you know what? We probably are above that already. Let me just check. Yeah, silver already dead when we hit the all-time high. So, I mean, this stuff is moving so fast. Next in the box after silver would be Google. And then Amazon, and then Saudi Aramco. Actually, Saudi Aramco used to be the biggest company in the world. Then Apple eclipsed it. And then NVIDIA. Then Microsoft eclipsed Apple. And then NVIDIA just eclipsed Saudi Aramco. So things are changing so fast. But gold is up there, 14.246 trillion. That is the target. That is the target. And the price of Bitcoin when that happens is about $580,000. Madness. Madness. It's all happening so fast. Now, the other crazy thing to consider in this market, all right, we haven't gotten to monetary quantitative easing yet or rate cuts. And I know the markets are down today. Tech stocks are down because they feel, oh, well, the Fed may not hike or may not cut rates in a hurry. But this chart from Econometrics shows you there is a 100% chance of no more rate hikes. But rate cuts may be delayed. It may not be May, but it might be June. Either way, the deficits are exploding. The whole thing is a sham, as far as I'm concerned. We'll soon be spending $1.5 trillion in interest, which is double the defense budget. So for those of you who know how much the defense budget is, it's ridiculous. But it's okay, because the government can print more, and they're adding $1 trillion every 100 days. That's why we Bitcoin, by the way. So that's what's rattling the markets today. But don't worry about that. It doesn't bother Bitcoin. But the point is, when they do cut rates, and when QE begins, Bitcoin's going to go to the moon. It's already going to the moon without that. Can you imagine what's going to happen? So I hope people take that away. It's going to be huge. In addition, Fred Krueger, he now says Bitcoin is a must-have in any portfolio. At $200,000 of Bitcoin, it will have a higher market cap than any US stock. Pretty hard not to own it at that point. And this is going to be a must-have in any portfolio, okay? The bigger the asset, the more it needs to be included in everything. So not only does price market it, as I saw even the Wall Street Journal talking about Bitcoin, it's like, huh? Weird. But now, as it grows bigger, it will start getting the attention. And you know what the normies are going to start doing now as well? They look at sheets and newspapers and lists. This is yesterday. This is all the big ETFs in the world yesterday. And you know what they see? Get ready. They look at this kind of thing highlighted green there in the middle. Huh? An ETF going up 7.09% in a day when all my others are flat or down or just up 0.17%? What is this 7.08% IBIT stuff? I mean, it's like you see it in crypto. People chase pumps, all right? It's human nature. It's what happens. But now the normies are going to be chasing this pump. They're saying, okay, I've got my Vanguard ETF. It's, pretty lackluster. And I might be lucky to get 0.17% a day. I think I'm going to try some of that 7% a day stuff and see what that does to my portfolio. That moment is coming, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Before we get into the charts, there's so much more. Again, it's a quick and dirty one, but it ended up being a long one as always. Saylor, Michael Saylor, will deploy more. He's doing a $600 million convertible senior notes offering. And of course, people freak out. Oh my God, it's going to dilute the stock. It's like, no. For years, I've been telling you. He issues debt, issues shares, throws his profits from his business into buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes up. Share price goes up. People have to buy. When this thing gets added to the S&P 500, watch out. And by the way, if you take 600 million over the current market cap, it's like 3.5%. It's nothing burger. MicroStrategy went up 25% yesterday. Okay, so everybody, zoom out, put things in perspective. Take out your pen and paper, do your math. Don't be freaked out by this stuff. In fact, let's check on MicroStrategy today. See what it's doing. MicroStrategy. It is down a little bit. It was up earlier, actually. It did hit 1337, and this fell to like just under 1200. But again, it's volatile, as is Bitcoin. And that's just the nature of the beast. Be in volatile assets because they have the highest return out there. All right, let me see. In addition, Aladdin Allocations. I've been talking about this for quite a number of years now. BlackRock files to purchase more Bitcoin ETFs for its SIO fund. More Bitcoin ETFs. All right. I think they added about 8 or 12 a few days ago. Now they're adding more. And these funds are huge. And when they have an auto allocation, you have an auto buyer. Constant stream of money coming in. Last week as well, I mentioned they opened up, I think, a Bitcoin ETF in Brazil last Saturday. And Brazil has a lot of money too. So again, it's just nonstop flows coming into this puppy. Ignore the price action right now. What matters is we did break a new all-time high, which means next spike, we're going to price discovery. Now let's break down all the numbers from the ETFs. And we had a big day yesterday. In fact, let me see if I can share with you the current ETF volume, because this is important. Let me see if I can get this screen share. See if this worked. Yeah. And we got everybody here. So, and thank you G6 Johnny as well for being here. If you look here at the ETF volume, literally we are just an hour into the day and BlackRock has already done 26 million, everybody. $26 million. That is monstrous. Monstrous. 1 hour, 26 million in volume. It's madness. And remember, this type of stuff will bring a constant stream. And I'm only talking BlackRock, not talking the others that will also have auto allocations. Morgan Stanley, Merrill Lynch, who are the other guys I mentioned the other day, Bank of America, all now going to start doing auto allocations to Bitcoin. And in the past, Bitcoin was kept alive by retail investors. Now the real money has arrived. And everybody, every fool that said the ETF would be a nothing burger, you don't understand how big the markets are and how big the funds are and the impact of things like Aladdin and auto allocations to funds. Everything is funds, okay? Everything is funds. And we're talking $32 trillion worth. Even a tiny 0.5% of an allocation will blow Bitcoin to the moon. Anyhow, let's look at the numbers. Macro update, quick view here of what happened yesterday. You can see a huge spike from blue, which is Fidelity, and IBIT is BlackRock. Both up and to the right. We are day 36, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to stress that one more time too. We are only 36 trading days into this thing. 36 trading days. And let's look at I've got some charts coming up too, so I'll show you what that means in charts. Blow your mind. 36 days. The other good news is you can see Grayscale shrank a lot. They had the biggest, second biggest dumpage day ever on day 34. Day 35 was $500 million. Yesterday was less, which is good. So that means there's good net positive flow into these funds. And we'll break it all down. We had the third best money flow ever day yesterday, day 36. And again, we're still warming up. This thing is not slowing down. It is not slowing down. The buyers are only just beginning to come. Again, reminder, Aladdin will be allocating, okay? And Saylor will be buying. Okay, these two alone will 10x the amount of daily production in 43 days. It's, when you think about it with a numbers mind, it melts it very fast. Now let's look at total money flow. It's still up and to the right. That's the red line to look at. Big spike. We are now at, I think it's 9 billion net. We did have that negative day 35. That was last Friday. That was because of the massive GBTC dumpage. And that was one of the worst ever. But look at the positive. Look at the way this thing swings. Again, everything doesn't always happen in unison as you go out there, ladies and gentlemen. So remember that too. All right, what else do we have? More charts. Hold on. This one is $17.2 billion of inflows into the 9 new ETFs. Not bad. Remember, the absorption of nearly 10 billion out of GBTC has been phenomenal. And the important thing to consider, probably only half of that goes into the new ETFs. The new ETFs are bringing in their own money from new customers. These turds that are being flushed, the 10 billion in turds, they're speculators that were doing the cash and carry trade on GBTC. They are not retail investors or ETF fund investors. Maybe half of them are, but that's it. The rest are just being flushed from the system. Bye-bye. In addition, we have now 359,000 Bitcoin in new ETFs in how many days, everybody? 36 trading days. Madness. Complete madness. Who wants a little math quiz? Any kids who are watching? Divide 360,000 by 900 and calculate the average absorption over 36 trading days. This is an economic experiment like we've never seen before. And final chart. How many Bitcoin were taken out of the system yesterday? Well, 8,234. That is nearly 10 times the daily issuance. And remember, as I calculated in a video a few days ago, the miners are only issuing about 82% of what they mine. They're holding the rest. Okay? They're holding the rest. Some, like CleanSpark, only sold 4 Bitcoin this year. 4. Not 400. 4. They know the price is going up. They know the longer they can hold on to that, the more it brings money, bottom line revenue, unrealized revenue to the business as well. Okay, a couple of quick charts as well. And shout out to the first chart of the day. This is Mr. OCC, On-Chain College. He said in this beautiful chart, and I love his charts because he just zooms out, looks at the data, but this is the MVRV Z-score, and Bitcoin is about to shock the world. As I've been saying for years, now I'm beginning to hear myself echoed in the chambers of other channels. We have never been so high so early before. And we're already at new all-time highs. Any metric you look at, all the models are broken. Hope you got that. It's a special time. It's a special time. And it's brilliant. In addition, this is a Normie chart. Shout out to Wall Street Journal for putting it together. This is the way they look at Bitcoin. And you can see here, the dump down to whatever, 15.5 when FTX collapses. And then we go from 15.5 to 25,000. Then BlackRock files for a spot ETF. And anybody who knows BlackRock knows they never get denied because the government works for them. And then the court rules in favor of Grayscale. Okay, and we're still at 25K. And then we go up very quickly because the market can sniff out these ETFs are going to be approved sooner or later. And Bitcoin goes from 25 to 45K in a very short window of time. And then, of course, the buy the rumor, sell the news dump from 45K down to 39K. People freak out. Yeah, it's a nothing burger. I told you so. And then we go straight to an all-time new high. All right, that's the simple way to interpret that beautiful little chart. And sometimes the simplest charts are the best charts, by the way. And finally, another price prediction. And again, this is sandbagged based on our Lila model. We are going to go to 151,000 this season. And again, I did say, and this is of course a chart. It's a model based on history. We don't know what's going to happen. Could we get a black swan event or whatever else? And I also did say earlier that if history repeats, Bitcoin will go to $89,900. So we'll see. Some people think price predictions are crazy, and it's very difficult to predict the future. But sometimes the math does work out. And again, to protect myself, I sandbag things a lot. So we'll see if we do hit that 90K in the next 43 days. And we'll see if we get north of 150. Remember, once you get over 100, say $100 stock or a $1 token or whatever, it can go to go from 100 to 150 is only 50%. Remember, we've seen Bitcoin go up monstrously, 70% in a few days lately. So with that, everybody, thank you so much for joining. Thank you to everybody there in the chat. Hope everybody is doing well. And remember, we broke new ground today, which is massive, everybody. And things are looking really good. I'm just seeing if anything stands out in the markets right now. Anything crazy happening. And yeah, whoa. Okay. Solana just pumped to $142. So we got through the $135 sell wall pretty easy. And remember, I was looking at the Coinbase sell wall today on Bitcoin. It was pretty clear it's going to be broken. But remember who's in control here? It's the market makers. Shout out to Mando as well, who mentioned that yesterday. He confirmed my belief. Thank you to the 6,500 people watching this live. It is a historic time. Thank you all for being here. All I ask is hit the likes so your friends, the people that look up to you, can get this message too, because we're running out of time for them to get on the train, even a tiny allocation. Okay, before it's all gone, and before we do go into full-on hardcore price discovery. Thank you, Digital Asset US. I hope the government doesn't come after you for a name like that. Appreciate every single one of you. And I'll see you all later for Okta. Have a good day. Bye-bye.